What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Marketing Monday. We're super excited about this because today we have a lot of great information for you guys. For those of you who don't know what Marketing Monday is, it's a email that gets sent to everybody with bite-sized advertising and marketing pieces for free 99, right? So you're going to get it in your inbox every Monday at 8:15 a.m. And then we always break it down on either Instagram or YouTube and Facebook, where we're kind of leaning towards a little more so now. My name is Alexander Fazlani. I'm co-owner of this beautiful company. And then right to my left, I guess you're right, my left, is my beautiful partner and my wife, Amanda Fazlani. And yeah, let's dive right into it.
Yeah, definitely. So we love Marketing Mondays. We've been doing this for almost a year now. I think come May, it's officially a year. This is only our second time streaming this live on YouTube and Facebook. So if you're tuning in there, hello. We used to do this on Instagram. If you're listening on Spotify or iTunes, hello. I hope that whether you're working out or on your way to a showing or something, you are racking up those offers and listings and having an awesome year as we are, like 3 weeks away from quarter two?
Yeah, quarter two is coming, and you know what that means, guys.
Yes.
If you're not on your way to hitting your goal, this is where you're going. This is a crucial quarter for you. Right. So if you had a New Year's resolution, like a lot of us, like, hey, I'm going to get 12 listings, and you may only have got one, or you might have not got any, don't give up, guys. This is a new start. And summer is rolling around, spring is rolling out, right? So it's time to, buckle down and actually go out there, do those showings and, experience the life that you want to live.
Definitely. So speaking of that, today's quote is, "Strength shows not only in the ability to persist, but in the ability to start over," by F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Exactly. It's perfect for quarter two, right?
Yes. So we're definitely going to be putting out content to help support you in gearing up for quarter two. Because, anyone who runs a business, even for us with this online business, the e-commerce, or with our real estate businesses with our team, we run by quarters, right? Everything is measured in quarters. That's how every business does it. Hopefully you pay your taxes quarterly as well so that it doesn't sneak up on you. But as we gear up for the new quarter, you probably have been having closings, and spring is right around the corner. So this week's What's Working topic is your client housewarming party playbook. How many of you actually throw housewarming parties for your clients? I never heard of this until I started working with Alex.
Yeah, so this one was something that we actually got from Scott Einbinder. We went to one of his trainings, and he talked about how crucial these were, and then we started throwing them, and we actually saw pretty good results off of them. Obviously, the first couple of times you're going to do it, you're going to probably do it wrong, where there's going to be more drama than you want it to be. But we're going to break it down for you guys and how it could be a crazy alternative than door knocking the block after you sold a property, right? This is a way of actually getting yourself out there and giving your clients such a great experience that they're going to come back for more, which I've actually had return clients because of this method. And also, you're going to become the realtor of that family, right? So the loyalty is built by actually following this housewarming handbook.
Yeah. I do want to put a disclaimer out there for some agents who might, we're going to break down this strategy, but everyone knows when you throw a party, it costs money, right? Yeah. And everyone knows when you throw a party, there's a lot of logistics. You don't have to do this alone. Keep in mind, Alex is going to break down the strategies, but always remember that every step of the way, you can work with the lender or the credit specialist or whoever, the inspector, whoever was part of the deal that wants to participate in this. You can invite them to help you. So that way, this is a little more streamlined. It's a team effort, and they can benefit as well.
Yeah. So obviously, banks are the people with the money. So sometimes, like, just partnering with your mortgage professional or the mortgage professional that you've been working with on the deal, be like, hey, listen, I want to throw this housewarming party for them. Do you want to be involved? And obviously, this would be a great way to potentially build your book of business as well. It's mutually beneficial, right? So it's definitely something that you want to partner up on, especially maybe even have the inspector there as well. Because think about it, you kind of create these little nuclear groups or these pods of what I like to call them,
Yeah.
and they really go so far. And we've actually made many videos on like creating your referral team, and this is an amazing way to do that.
Definitely. So let's dive in. What is step one in actually like executing this?
So in this step, I actually made a mistake at one point, right? So I didn't have any clear fill out like a fill was it a fillable
Fillable
sheet,
sheet.
right? So like I didn't have something that they can fill out, pick the cuisine that they want, right? If we're going to cater the event, right? I didn't give them clear thoughts on like what their budget was or what could be done on our behalf, right? So for example, you know, I was more in charge of invitations and catering, right? That's where we're focusing on in regards to throwing this housewarming party. They're responsible for the DJ and things of that nature, right? So if you don't actually put this all in writing, or you don't like give them the key lowdown, right? It could actually backfire on you, and they're like, "Oh, so who's gonna be doing the music?" And you're like, "Oh, that's not my responsibility," right?
Yeah.
And it gets awkward, right? So in order to kind of bypass that awkwardness, a good idea is to have a fillable sheet. Maybe make partnerships with some local catering halls or local businesses that do catering, and basically have them fill out what it is that they want to see, and make it very clear on what you're going to be providing for this particular housewarming.
Yes, definitely. Communication is key and having it in writing is so important.
Yeah, yeah, because like I actually had a client that I thought it was gonna be barbecue food. They wanted like normal barbecue food. Turns out they wanted like Korean barbecue food and Thai food, right? And I was like, oh man, like I don't even have a partner
Totally.
in regards
Yeah.
to catering that. So it kind of like threw everything like left field, right? So, then I'm scrambling, and then it became more stressful than it should have been, right?
Yeah.
So having this fillable sheet where, your client can be like, okay, I want Italian, I want this, I want that, and I want that. And what their part of it and what your part of it is going to be.
Yeah, definitely. So that's step one, having that fillable sheet. Now, step two, I feel is so crucial because, like, step one is like, okay, you're getting all the details situated for this housewarming party for your client. But step two is really like where the magic starts to happen.
Yeah, so this is where you're going to start building up your book of business, right? This is where you're going to actually start introducing yourselves to family, friends, and friends of friends, and so on and so forth, right? So what you're going to do is say, hey, listen, I'm going to make a Facebook admin group, and you're going to be an admin on it. Invite all the friends that you want to this party, and then I'll stay in contact with them, and give them updates and so on and so forth on what to expect. And if they get lost, they can call me so they're not bothering you. So you're kind of like becoming that little party planner, and also you're connecting with all their friends and family, which is going to allow you to have that conversation and actually position yourself as someone who's actually throwing this party for them, and that you're helping them out, so on and so forth. Remember, guys, as a real estate agent, building the experience is super, super crucial. And this is something that, like, oh man, I wish my realtor did this for me. Or I wish, what I'm saying? Like, when I'm buying a house, I'm going to go with this guy because he's going to throw me a housewarming party, right? So, the invite aspect is super important. So obviously doing it through Facebook is a cheap and effective way of doing it, right? So whatever you guys do, don't do it in writing, right? So if you have that fillable sheet, be like, hey, this is my responsibility. I'm gonna handle the Facebook advertising invites, right? And
Yes.
the email invites if you have an email service like KV Core or something like that. This is a good opportunity to kind of build up that book of business.
Yeah, definitely. So the where am I? Oh, lost my the third piece, right? This is a 4-step process. The third part is also crucial, and I feel like, so for someone like me, I'm an introvert who can be an extrovert when necessary, right? But oftentimes someone like me, I need someone like Alex when it comes to networking to like take me out of my shell and like drag me across the room into the middle of the room where the action is at. So if you are on the more shy side, kind of how I am, when it comes to big parties and things like that, definitely bring a wingman with you if it's going to help you, like a fellow team member who might be a little more like how Alex is, has the gift of the gab, or even the lender, right? If that's who you are. If you're not this person and you're more like Alex and you're just like a social butterfly at these types of events, then this is where you're going to shine.
Yeah, I don't even think anybody from our team actually ended up coming. I think only like maybe one of our team members ended up coming.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I was just there solo dolo, greeting everybody. So you're going to want to take some type of responsibilities for this party, right? So showing up a little early, right? Obviously, pretty early, right? You're going to pick up the catering. You're going to organizing the cleaning crew so that they don't have to clean up, right? So that's super important, guys. Remember, think about experience, right? You're throwing a housewarming party. The last thing you want to do is clean up. So having like, hiring someone for $10 an hour or your cousin for $10 an hour, just to clean up after the party and have them work for like 2 or 3 hours afterward, the money goes so far because it's really going to create that experience, right? So you want to get the catering, pick that up, make sure that that's staying warm, has a place to be, right? You also want to be able to kind of greet people into the housewarming party, right? So if you show up early enough, have your clients hanging out, or you stand with them and greet people into the party. If you know, make yourself of service and
Yeah.
be helpful, right?
Yeah, and I feel like that happens naturally, just you being at this party, and your clients more likely than not are gonna be introducing you and things like that. Like, oh, this is the person who helped us buy the house. And you're gonna get those natural questions where people are wondering, like, oh, how's the market? Like, oh, we've been thinking about buying too, kind of thing. And those conversations will happen naturally. But I think this goes into step 4, where it's important to mingle and not sell.
Yeah, so when you're going around, just ask people how they're doing. Are they having a good time? Is there anything that you can get for them? So on and so forth. And just mingle, just talk. Oh, how do you know how do you know your the client, right? And so on and so forth, right? So that's kind of where you want to be. You want to be able to mingle, talk to people, and just be there, right? When they ask you, usually one of the questions that most people ask, I don't ask this at parties ever, but it's what do you do, right? I never really asked that question. It's not something that I like doing because we do a lot of things, right? So
Yeah.
what's really going to build that connection is not asking what do you do, right? But that question is going to get thrown your way, and then you can say, oh yeah, I'm the realtor that actually helped them buy this house, and I'm the one that's helping them throw the party, right? And then from there, those are when the questions are going to start coming in, right? And then if you have your mortgage professional there and so on and so forth, and they're like, yeah, I'm looking to get started. What would be the first step? Be like, oh, yeah, I want to introduce you to the mortgage professional. This is the person that actually helped get us the money, right? You have to be a professional at introducing. You got to be able to kind of keep it very passive when it comes to talking about real estate. Because I know a lot
Yeah.
of agents, they get antsy and they just start talking about real estate because that's their comfort zone, right? So what you want to do is just shoot the shit until the question is asked, what do you do? And then you can kind of introduce yourself. Like, oh, you're the one that sent me the Facebook invite, right? And then that's that, right? On top of that, when I said mingle, I also wanted to throw out there that the follow-up game is super important, right?
Yes.
So after the whole event goes down, the cleanup crew happens, right? You want to reach out to all the people that you spoke to, that you actually met, and put them into your CRM and follow up with them. They're like, hey, how did you enjoy the party? How did everything go? Did you have a good time? Cool, awesome. If you ever need anything for you or your family, please let me know. I'm here to be a service to all of my clients' friends,
Yeah.
right? And that's kind of how you're going to start building your sphere of influence, which is going to therefore take your business to that next level.
Definitely. Yeah, the more people you know, the better. That is the name of the game in this business.
Yeah.
So, speaking of that, this brings us to our next topic, right? In Marketing Mondays, we always have what's working, and then we have an Ask Me About Marketing segment. This week, we're covering how to become a local celebrity. I was
Yeah.
just about to try to do like Twister and do like the song, but I'm not going to embarrass myself.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
But if you're part of Marketing Mondays and you're signed up, you'll see what we're talking about. Only you
Yeah.
guys know.
Yeah, only the people that are part of Marketing Mondays will understand what we're talking about when it comes to Twister. But yeah, so this is another playbook. So we actually gave you 2 playbooks in 1 week. So you have 2 game plans, which are really, really solid, right? So we actually wrote this one around a agent who does the opposite of what other agents do, right? So a majority of agents, when you think about marketing and branding, they go wide, right? They go macro. So they're trying to get their name in front of so many different people, right? What this agent does is they're more of a hyper nicher. So they focus on a 3-block radius in these specific buildings, and that's all they market to,
Mhm.
right? Which, if you think about it, those people in those buildings in those areas are going to get a majority of what you're putting out there, right? So you're able to kind of hit them multiple times with your marketing, with your branding, a lot more than somebody who's trying to send, you know postcards to everybody, right? So we kind of went into that. So if you guys are subscribed to Marketing Mondays, you'll actually get the story of this particular individual and what they did, right? But there's a couple of things that you need to do in order to become that local celebrity, right? So the first thing that you want to do is you want to showcase local businesses and keep people informed on what's going on around them, right? So in their specific community. So the person that we spoke about was in one of our areas that we work, right? So for sales, and they would always, send mailers, send updates via text, updates via email about restaurants that are going up or restaurants that are going out of business. They were part of local Facebook groups and things of that nature, and they were constantly cross promoting all these different restaurants, right? So they would throw networking events and so on and so forth at local restaurants, which is kind of one hand washes the other, right? So the one entrepreneur is happy and the other entrepreneur is happy because they're getting people through the door, right? So if you make these local partnerships, that's going to help a lot, right? So that was the first step, right? The first thing that you're going to want to do to become a local celebrity, because now all these businesses are going to promote your business and you're going to promote their businesses. So you kind of have that synchronicity.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Which leads us to number 2 on sending market updates via mailers to your niche market, right? So at least 3 to 4 times, actually 4 to 8 times per year, right? So what you're going to want to do is send market updates consistently on what, let's say, your niche area. So let's say you're in a specific area where it's only single family houses. You could be like 3-bedroom, 2 baths are averaging this price. You know what I'm saying? Like you're letting everybody know exactly what the price of their home is going for, what kind of houses are, moving in the area, so on and so forth, right? So you're going to want to send that out at least 4 to 8 times per week. Per month, per year, so that they actually have the opportunity to be educated on what's going on, and you're building up your expertise in that specific area. Oh, where you at? So then that leads us to creating hyper-focused Facebook ads geared to your niche area market. So this is another very, very, very interesting way of going about it. So instead of actually focusing on trying to push your Facebook ads to, everybody in Long Island, everyone in Forest Hills, or everyone in Queens, or everyone in Brooklyn, so on and so forth, insert your area there. You're going to focus mainly on that specific little niche, those 300 homes, those 600 homes, and you're going to run Facebook ads multiple times to them, right? So Amanda actually spoke, we were actually speaking recently about this new method of marketing where you're not spending a lot of money, but you're just targeting a very small group and you're hitting them multiple times, right? So that could be very, very powerful. So her Facebook ad strategy was on point, right? So if you went to a showing and you were interested in a specific area, you were going to get her ads multiple times. And she had like market update advertising and things of that nature, which were really, really great. Hey, we got a guest appearance.
Our little guest, he wanted to make an appearance. But yes, you can definitely utilize Facebook ads in order to add to this strategy, right? And make sure that people are seeing your brand over and over again in this area.
Yeah, and then on top of that, obviously she's going to local meetups, local events, and like, what I'm saying, like certain communities have community events, whether it be fun runs or whether it be church groups or clubs and things of that nature. Some communities are tight like that. She's part of like a bunch of things. I think she was even on the boards for some of the buildings that she was part of. So she was very, very was it integrated?
Yeah.
Into the community,
Intertwined.
Huh?
Intertwined.
Yeah, very intertwined with the community already, right? So she was building a lot of connections of the people that live in that specific area and constantly staying in contact with them, obviously through Facebook ads, all that stuff. So you just cannot get rid of her, right? She's just there.
Yeah.
Which leads us to another method, which is whenever there's a new listing, whenever there's something that's happening in that community, whether it's your listing or not, her listing, she was blasting it out there to everybody, right? Like, hey, this apartment just went for sale. Do you know anybody who wants to move into the neighborhood, right? So she's constantly staying on top of this small sphere of influence that she has, which was growing because she became that go-to person for those buildings. So I would say she gobbled up a huge market share of those buildings. So if anybody was thinking, they thought they had to go through her, not even because they wanted to go through her, because they thought they had to go through her because she was so ingrained and so like involved with everything. right?
Yeah, I feel like I do want to say I feel like a lot of even experienced agents, not just new agents, they shy away from talking about like the general market, like what's going on in the market, just because they themselves don't have listings. So they feel like they can't reach out to people and say like, oh, this is on the market. But it's just you have to understand how agency works and how those rules work in order to utilize it to your advantage.
Yeah, I mean, for example, like if anything goes on in this neighborhood, I'm gonna send like, hey, look, there's a new listing that hit this neighborhood. Do you know anybody that's looking to move into the area, right? This is also a great way of building up your SMS marketing, right? Because now you're creating that touch, right? You're actually speaking to people, and they're not only getting emails from you, they're getting Facebook ads from you, and now they're getting text messages from you. Obviously, it takes about 12 to 16 contacts that get a client for a life type of situation. So this
Yeah.
is an amazing opportunity sometimes just to niche down into an area that you're really good at, right? So I know people that, maybe just focus on Forest Hills Gardens and that's it, right? They only focus on the small little area, maybe 300 to 600 homes, and they just constantly hit those 300, 600 homes, right? And that's it.
Yeah.
No more, no less. That's who they're going after.
Yep. They just have their farm and they stick to it.
Yeah, and then sometimes those people are going to trust you with their buyer, right? And then you'll obviously close deals outside of that area occasionally, but your listings and where your inventory is going to be is mainly in that area.
Yeah, definitely. So that we covered number 5, meet the locals.
Yeah, I said
Yeah.
that. I said that. I said it out of turn, so I put
Okay.
number 5 as number 4 and 4 as number 5.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure I went to go pick up our little guy. Wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. So before we jump into today's advertising bite, we do want to share that the Real Estate Agent Planner Pro now includes a productivity blueprint course. So this is a course that Alex shot that literally breaks down everything that you need to know in order to hit the ground running with your productivity and with this planner. Right, the
Yeah,
planner has over 220 pages of productivity for real estate agents, including the daily action planner. There's trackers, a social media calendar. There's financial trackers as well, a commission commitment income sheet. We have a real estate success cheat sheet that actually will break down the activities that you should be doing as a real estate agent in order to be successful throughout the year. So if you want to check this out, click the link somewhere near this video, depending on what platform you're watching it, but there'll be a link there in the description that links to here so you can check it out. And if you want to get it, what coupon code could they use to save 10% off?
coffee.
Use code coffee. All right, so let's jump into our advertising bite, which is that you're running Facebook ads, but you're not getting any leads. And I feel like this is probably like top 3 complaints that agents make when it comes to running Facebook ads. And what's funny is that it's so easy to fix it. You just have to know how, which is like anything else in the world, right? But when it comes to running Facebook ads, there are 2 things that you're going to want to look at. Really 3, but for the most part, everyone's issue, like in order to fix this, remedy it, is one of these 2 things. Number 1, right? Let's say you're running ads, you're not generating any leads. Number 1 is your budget the problem, right? When you're running Facebook ads, you want to remember that $1 to $3 a day is not going to cut it. Right? There are so many agents who think that, you can still get away with running $1 to $3 a day Facebook ads. And that's not the case, right? Facebook ads got pricier, still cheap in comparison to other things like Google pay-per-click and stuff like that, Zillow Premier Agent. But you gotta start with a higher budget, and we recommend starting minimum $10 per day with your budget, and that's just if you're testing, right? If you're serious about generating some real leads, you want to go higher than $10 a day, right? And the reason that we say this is because I don't know if you know this, but if your budget isn't large enough to support your ad, it can get stuck in the learning phase, which basically means that the algorithm doesn't know how to spend your money because it's not collecting enough data, because it doesn't have enough of a budget to make that happen, right? So if you're not generating any leads, but you're running ads, you want to make sure and check that your budget is high enough to actually get something done. Number 2 is data-based, right? So a lot of agents will run Facebook ads and they don't actually know how to read the data, right? Like, oh, what do I get as far as, what do impressions mean? What does reach mean? How many link clicks should I be getting, right? And speaking of those, there are 3 things that we typically look at to gauge whether or not an ad is working. Impressions, which is how many times the ad is being seen, right? So if I see the ad 3 times and Alex sees the ad 1 time, that means that it has 4 impressions. Link clicks, which is how many times someone actually clicked on your ad and went to your website. And then leads generated, which tells us how many times someone actually signed up on your website to become a lead, right? Whether buyer or seller. And the reason that we look at these 3 things is because it helps us diagnose what's the problem with the ad, right? So for example, let's say you have really high impressions, right? And you feel your link clicks are pretty high too, but you're not getting any leads, right? You're getting 0 leads even, or just not enough. Then you know that the problem is probably your landing page.
Or your offer.
Yeah, your landing page or your offer, right? But because the thing is, if you have high link clicks, your offer might be good and you're sending people to the page, right? They're clicking through, but they're not converting on the website, right? Now, if you have like a lot of impressions, not a lot of link clicks, right? And then no leads, then that might lead you to think, okay, something's wrong with my call to action. My offer might not be good, right? In that instance. And then if you have that your ad isn't getting a lot of impressions, right? And you're obviously not getting leads if you're not getting a ton of impressions or link clicks, then from there, okay, that means that something is up with my ad itself. Maybe not even my offer. It could be that the photo or the video is not enticing or stopping people in their tracks, right? You have to look at the ad itself and see what's up there. And those are basically the 3 key things that we look at to try to gauge how can we tweak this. And then the third thing, which is usually not the case, but it's good to check anyway, especially if you're new at running ads, is whether or not there's like a simple glitch going on. So for example, running Facebook ads is very detail oriented. So let's say that you put the wrong link in there, right? Let's say you put the homepage of your website accidentally and you didn't put your landing page. It wouldn't make sense what people are clicking on, right?
Yeah. And also, another mistake that you could be doing too, I'm guilty of, is if you're running like the ad, but you're sending them, like, let's say it's like 1 family homes, but then you're sending them to condos, right? Or something like that. Like that happens sometimes if you're going based on price range and you're like, oh, check out these new houses here. And then they're going thinking they're getting one thing, but they're going to get another. Obviously that would mess with your numbers a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe a lot of it.
Yeah. So we actually recently had a training with a real estate team in New York where we covered how to read the data, how to like get started with ads. And we're going to be sharing that training exclusively with those of you who are signed up for our free Facebook ads course. So if you haven't signed up for that course, visit designforagents.com or the link in the description where you're watching this video and sign up for the course. It's 5 days. You'll get a series of emails that include 3 1-hour or so long trainings that break down exactly how to get started with Facebook Ads Manager, how to set up your business account, how to actually know what type of ad to run, ideas for ads. We show you what our ads are actually like, including buyer, seller, and branding ads. And then we even go into some more strategic things like how to create custom audiences and lookalike audiences once you've mastered everything else. So you'll get all of that plus the recording of the training that we did with the team.
For free $99.
Yep, no upsells.
There you go, guys. So go check that out. Like Amanda said, go to our website. It should be on the top area where you can just kind of click it. If anything, you can always reach out to us if you can't find it, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty easy to find.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's pretty much it. We kind of went through a lot of stuff here. One thing that we really love, so is to go over one piece of equipment or one tool that we like recommending to you guys. This week we're going over the teleprompter, right? So you want to talk a little bit about that, Amanda?
Yeah, so we have been creating a lot of YouTube content in 2022. And, we're very heavy on Instagram, pretty decent on Facebook, but YouTube is something that we've always wanted to dig our teeth into. And we wanted to do it with high quality video. And, it takes time to edit those things. And when you're recording educational videos, there's a lot of information that you're sharing. So we were trying to think of a way to make it easier to edit, make it easier and faster to record the video. So we opted to try out a teleprompter. And since we weren't sure how often we would use it, we went with one on Amazon, which is shared in the link in the description here. How do you like the teleprompter?
So I've been using it occasionally, right? So if I'm a big like blog writer, so I like writing blogs out. So obviously, you guys read some of my articles, so I actually like writing these out. But sometimes it's coming up with the video concept and actually like without rambling or saying like and so much, you might need a little help. So sometimes throwing up the teleprompter and actually having what you wrote kind of going up and you just reading from it and then giving some additional like tips and hints from there really is helpful. So I actually really love the teleprompter. I utilize it often. I highly recommend anybody who's like maybe fresh to making content and just a little nervous about what do I say, right? This might be perfect for you. Also, if you're someone that's a little more experienced, you can just put like key topics that you want to speak about for a certain amount of time and it'll pop up so you can talk about that topic and then go into the next one, just so you can have a really steady flow rather than just winging it off the top of your head. So I highly recommend it. Really love it myself.
Yeah, definitely. So that is the tool you might like this week. We share a tool every week, whether it's CRMs that we believe in, graphic design tools, video content tools, you name it. If you have an idea for a tool, let us know in the comment below so we can share it with our fellow real estate community. And, if you're watching this, if you stood with us till the end, thank you for tuning in, right? Like we appreciate that you are sharing your time with us, whether you're listening as a podcast or you're watching this live or the replay. We do this to share information, everything that we know and we've learned. We're going to be bringing guests on this year to share what they know and what they've learned, so that, to better you in your real estate business.
Yeah, and if you have any questions, please feel free to throw them in the comments below. You might be even featured in next week's episode, or we might just answer it right on the spot. So please leave that below, and we're happy to help. And if you have any guests that you feel like you want to see, also shoot us the information so we can, sift through it and see if we can feature them next week.
Yeah, nominate your local celebrity.
Yeah, there you go. I already got one in mind. So maybe next week we'll bring them on.
Future episode. So as always, we want to wish you tons of happy new clients, accepted offers, and a whole lot of closings. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you next week. If you want to connect with Alex and I on Instagram or Facebook, you can find us at Alex Fazzolani or at Amanda Fazzolani. And be sure to follow us at Designed for Agents. See you next week.